Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for Lunch and Learn episode 52. And today we're going to talk about having the courage to build your business and lead your life. Let me go read the exact tagline here on Facebook while we're waiting for the audience to build here live. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2017. And this is one of the many episodes that I promised you, 200 episodes I promised you in 2017. Hopefully you guys caught episode 50 and 51. Maybe this is just 51. This is 51 or 52. I don't know. I'll fix that later. But anyway, develop the courage you need to achieve your goals. So often the only thing that is standing between you and your goals is the courage to do it. And fear is very real. So we're going to talk about fear. We're going to talk about a couple of things. And then we're going to give you some specific strategies on how to conquer these fears. So here's the number one fact. The number one fact is, and this is hopefully going to be very enlightening for you. And by the way, really quick before I get started, do not forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, or you can catch up on ones that you miss, whether it's morning jog or at night before you go to bed or your lunchtime learning. I have like 50 plus episodes on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/create wealth with Tara, or just go to YouTube and search Tara Wilson Lunch and Learn. So thank you, and back to this. Okay, here's a fact, a stone cold fact that it'll probably make your day, is that everyone, and I mean everyone, is afraid, and often usually of many things, right? The four most common fears of all human beings is fear of rejection is number one, fear of death is number two, fear of failure is number three, fear of ridicule is number four, right? So remove death because nobody's ever died in MLM. Like nobody's ever died from rejection, or anything that MLM brings to the table. So to survive in network marketing or any business, real estate or car sales or being able to be a teacher. Like if you're afraid of standing up in front of people, you wouldn't be a very good teacher, right? Bottom line is everyone has fears, and to be successful in network marketing, you really truly don't just have to learn mindset and skill set and leadership. You have to learn how to combat these fears, because you're going to have to face three of the most common fears of all human beings every single day if you want to be successful. So fear is built into our DNA. It's learned. So the good news is, number one is everyone's afraid. Number two is fear is learned. And the good news about that is anything that can be learned can be unlearned, right? And the only difference between a brave person or a successful person that appears brave is that they continue doing the things they need to do in spite of fear, right? So they confront it. Like, I don't like rejection, but I know to move my business forward, I have to do two things: recruit customers and recruit distributors. That's it. And then I have to teach my team how to recruit customers and how to recruit distributors, and that's how we build our business. So you're going to have to talk to people if you want to be successful. So if your fear is talking to people, then you need to get over that fear, because you won't be successful if you don't learn to talk to people. Sorry, my husband's going to get the phone. It always rings right at this time. It doesn't ring for like 6 hours, and then all of a sudden it rings right when I'm doing it. Okay. So number one is fear is everyone's scared. Number two is what is learned can be unlearned, right? So the coward will allow themselves to be dominated and controlled by the fear, right? So if here's your current state and here's your goal, like whether it's, business or rank or income or, getting a date with somebody, like the only thing that's standing between you and your goal is getting there, and most people just don't go there because they're scared. So we have to learn to not be scared. So fears can be unlearned, and just know that fear will paralyze you. It will paralyze you. It will sabotage you. It will ruin your business. And so oftentimes you can control this, because one thing to know is that the same symptoms of fear. So you go to pick up your phone, or your friend asks you, what's new with you? That great question every network marketer wants to get, because this is your like golden opportunity to be like, oh, I just got into new business. You got to hear about this. But you're paralyzed, right? first of all, knowledge is power and knowledge will help you, but taking action. But most importantly, know that the signs and symptoms you're going to feel, your throat might go dry, you might start breathing a little shallow, your hands might get sweaty, your stomach starts to churn, you know, all these things. There's something very exciting to know about this is that even though most people label that as fear because it is the typical standard fight or flight response, you're like, your body, your alarm bells are going off saying you're doing something that's going to make you squirm, get the heck out of here. So it gives you those physiological symptoms. But did you know that the same symptoms that show up when you're scared are the same exact symptoms that show up when you're excited? So instead of telling yourself, I'm scared, why don't you tell yourself, I'm excited? And then all of a sudden it won't be so scary, right? And that's courage. So we're going to teach you some strategies on how you can be courageous, because at the bottom line is the only thing standing between you and the business of your dreams is courage. That's it. It's courage. There's nothing a monkey can't do in network marketing. I mean, my 7-year-old knows my pitch. My 10-year-old knows my pitch. My 17-year-old, my husband who sits here, here's my husband. He's feverishly working on his business. There's the husband, you know, he has his own business there. He knows my pitch, right? So it's not that what we do in network marketing is easy to do. Unfortunately, it's easy not to do, right? So the pitch is easy. It's inviting, giving information that's usually recorded by your company, so you don't even have to know all the information, and then you're just following up and saying, what did you like about what you see? Did you see yourself getting involved as a customer? Do you see yourself getting involved as a business partner of mine, or do you see yourself being able to refer someone to me? So what we do is not hard to do. It's getting the courage to do it. That's the great separator. You want to know how to get in the 1%? The great separator is the person who has the courage to talk to the most people and introduce, remember the one thing a couple episodes ago, the one thing, right? Episode 50, the one thing is how many times you tell your company story, and the courage, the more courage you have to tell that company story is what will create your lasting legacy. That's it. So courage is very important. So we're going to give you a couple of strategies. I'm going to give you 5 strategies on how you can eliminate fear. So number 1 is do the opposite. So you can actually change your behavior by affirming, by visualizing, and acting as if you already have the quality. So if you say, I can make this, normally you're like, oh, I don't want to make this phone call because I'm not going to know what to say. Well, you know, talk to your upline. Usually your company, your team has really simple invitation scripts. I know you can find them online if your company doesn't have them. But we give people 4 or 5 sentences. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what you say. Just say, hey, I started a new business. I want you to take a look at it because of 3 reasons. Number 1, I'm looking for customers. Number 2, I'm looking for business partners. Number 3, I'm looking for referrals. And as my friend, the first few people you call should be the people you know the best. The first 25 people should be people that you would invite to your birthday party. And you're only scared if you think you have to sell them, by the way. But just say, what if you said, instead of saying, oh, what if my friend says something like, was this MLM, or is this one of those things, or not this again? Like, you're going to dread that. What if you picture it going well? What if you picture it saying, I can do this, and I can handle no matter what they say. If they ridicule me, I can handle that. If they reject me, I can handle that, right? What if you just say, I'm going to do the opposite of what I normally do. Like right now, I'm scared to pick up the phone. I'm going to pick up the phone. If I get rejected, normally I hate that. I'm not going to hate that, right? Because bottom line is, they weren't in your business 5 minutes ago. They're still not in your business. Nothing has changed. Why do you care? Why do you react? Got to detach yourself. So every time you repeat the words, I can do it, with conviction, you override your fear and you actually start to increase your confidence. So keep telling yourself, I can. One thing when I'm coaching people or mentoring someone, you know, I just can't talk to anybody. I just can't get anybody on the phone. I can't. And I'm just like, hold on. Stop saying I can't. Start saying I can, because your brain is hearing you. And we have a whole bunch of episodes to talk about mindset, and you have to program your brain. So why not give it good thing? I can, or I'm about to get my breakthrough, or you know what? Everybody's going to be nice to me. Because do you know that 93% of all communication between 2 humans is nonverbal? And if you are scared and you assume, it's the weirdest thing, but when you say the word, when you say something that is weird to you, that becomes weird to them. So for example, I was in the mortgage business. I sat there on the phone getting social security numbers all day, every day, all day, every day. Like, what's your social? Never had a person be like, you want my social security number? Yes, I'm a bank. I want, I need to pull your credit, right? So I never had anybody go, I don't want to give you my social. So I became very comfortable at asking that. Well, one of the things that when you have a business partner network marketing, you have to get someone's social security number because we're going to pay you. We need to know who to pay. And it's weird because I have people that literally every single person they go to sign up won't give them their social security number. I'm like, why do you think that's a big deal? And I ask them, why do you have a hang up about social security numbers? They're like, oh, I don't, but they do. I'm like, no. You do. Because I don't get that. And you get it. Or all of a sudden, if someone thinks like their product or business is too expensive, guess what? Their number one rejection they get, it's too expensive. Or if they don't have time or they think that this business takes too much time, guess what the number one rejection they get? I don't have enough time. Your energy. So stop being fearful and start going into every interaction as it's going to go amazing. So do the opposite. All right. Number 2, visualize yourself as unafraid. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday. What would the super intergalactic, global diamond ambassador platinums in your company do in the same situation? Do they look calm? Do they look poised, right? So start visualizing yourself as unafraid. Start visualizing yourself as no matter what the outcome of this call, I am going to be okay because I know that the number, thank you, Rachel. She says, I like your shirt. I bought it on one of those, clicked on it Facebook and bought it off Facebook. Rachel, I'll tell you later. So, got all of Facebook Live. So, visualize yourself unafraid, meaning go into the every interaction as if you are courageous. And you will start being courageous. Like, I know some people say fake it till you make it. That doesn't mean be fraudulent. It means that nobody knows you're not confident except for you. So act as if, talk. Tony Robbins is huge on physiology. Don't slump. Look at my face when I slump and look at when I stand up. It's like different. Like get in a posture of confidence. Be strong. Like stand up. Smile. Firm handshake. Oh, there's nothing worse than a wimpy handshake. If you're a wimpy handshake person, change that immediately. That's like probably my biggest pet peeve in business, by the way. So talk, walk, be confident. So I was just listening to a book lately, and of course your conversion rate will get better. But when you first start network marketing, this is really like in the first 3 to 6 months, this is realistic. You're probably going to have to talk to 200 people to sign up 20 as distributors, right? You could have more depending on your company or your product or your time or your the upline support, the tools, whatever. But that's realistic. So you got to go into every conversation as this may be one of my 90% no's. So if you go to every conversation thinking, I got to get 9 no's for every yes, then you are going to have a little bit more posture than going into it saying, I need to close everybody to be a yes. Because that's not the way it works. Now, you'll get customers too, and don't be afraid to ask, someone, hey, would you at least be my customer? Because I am starting my business and I need customer testimonials. And as my mom or my brother or my dad or my best friend, would you support my business? Most companies have products in the $10 to $70 range. So I think anybody, then find something that maybe they already use, a service they already use, a product they already use, etc., and ask them to use yours. Okay. All right, this is a good one. Confront your fears. Now, so you have to acknowledge what you are scared of. And you have to say, okay, why am I scared? And rationalize it. Why am I scared? Am I scared of the ridicule? Am I scared of the rejection? Am I scared of the failure? Am I scared of what this person thinks? And a great book to help you really detach from the outcome is Don something Ruiz, the 4 agreements. And one of his agreements because we've made agreements to society that we are going to validate rejection. That's one of the agreements that we have as humans. Well, you have to detach, and it's one of his agreements is don't take anything personally. Don't take it personally. A person saying no has nothing to do with you. In fact, people aren't usually even thinking about you. They're so busy thinking about themselves, they're really not. It's that them saying no is like, it's just not the right timing for me, or I don't want to start a business, or I'm lazy. It could be I'm lazy. It could be I don't want to make more money. It could be I love what I'm doing now. It could be I just am not open. It doesn't matter. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no because of whatever's going on in their life. So you choose to take it personally. Don't take it personally. A great example is, and you can use it in business, is my daughter was we were at the pool. We have a little pool club down the street, and my daughter is going through the phase where she was missing these 2 teeth, and she's 7. So you know when your teeth, like your adult teeth, come in and your face is still small, but your teeth are really large, and her 2 teeth right here hung down, and she looked like bunny teeth, right? I mean, to the little boy's defense, it really did. So she walks up to me crying, "Mommy, this little boy told me I had bunny teeth." And I just looked at her and I was reading the book. So I was like, perfect, I get to tell my kids this lesson. I said, "Well, do you think you have bunny teeth?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Well, then why are you letting him put that in your head?" I said, something in his experience, in his 5 years of life, maybe he watched a cartoon and a little bunny that he thought was cute had teeth that kind of reminded him of you. So it's what he thinks. It's not what it is. It's what he thinks. That's an imprint or a vision that he has in his head. And it doesn't mean you look like a bunny. It means to him, there's some file in his brain that causes him to think of a bunny. That's it. It's reminding him. So don't take it personally. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." And she ran off and it was fine. But, you know, confronting your fears is basically, you know, one of the best exercises you can practice is identify a situation in your life which you're afraid and resolve to deal with it immediately. So if you're afraid to pick up the phone, I hate to tell you, you just got to start picking up the phone, because number 4 is action is the antidote to fear. You must do what you fear most, or you're always going to fear it. Always. Like, think about like bungee jumping. Fear of heights is a learned fear, and I think everyone should have it. I don't think anyone should plummet themselves at the earth at any point. I don't care if you have a pack or a cord or whatever. That is not smart. I'm just not a big fan of that. But it's learned. But if I were afraid of bungee jumping, and I'm standing there and I'm going to feel that horrible feel, I'm going to sweaty, you know, all the responses of fear, and then I jump and I survive, guess what my brain says? "Look, you survived." And I jump again, and I jump again, and I jump again. And every day for 30 days, I jump. Do you think I'm still going to have the same response as I did the first time I jumped? No. Why? Because I did it, and my brain told my conscious told my subconscious, we survived. So guess what? I'm not going to have that fear anymore. That is the same thing with anything you're afraid of. Calling people. The only way you're going to stop being afraid of calling people is if you call people and you survive it. Because I promise you, again, nobody ever died in network marketing from doing the things you need to do from network marketing, which is create interest, send a tool, follow up. Nobody ever died from that. I promise. Nobody ever died from that. So you've got to move toward action. You've got to actually do the thing that you're afraid of more than anything. And I'll tell you right now, and this is probably the golden nugget of the entire lesson here, is that when you move away from the fear and you don't do it, guess what? That fear grows. So if you feel the fear of picking up the phone, and then you don't pick up the phone, you're going to have more anxiety, and that fear is actually going to get larger and larger and larger and larger than it was in the first place. So I'll tell you right now, if you feel that in your stomach, that's when you know you need to do it, because you are scared. And when you do it, and then you do it again, and you do it again, eventually you won't have that feeling inside anymore. And you know what? You develop courage by doing the thing that you're scared to do. If you're scared to speak in front of a room, put yourself in the front of the room. I actually did not take speech class in college because I was it mortified me. I was so insecure growing up. It mortified me. And I mean mortified me. The thought of speaking in front of 30 people, I wanted to throw up even thinking about it. So I actually ended up going to 3 years of junior college and 2 years at UC Berkeley. And because it wasn't a requirement at the UC system, it was required at the state. So I'm not going to a state school. I swear to God, as God is my witness, one of the criteria is I didn't even apply to a state school like, you know, Chico State or, you know, whatever states we have, whatever. I didn't apply to one of those colleges because they required speech. I swear to God. I didn't even require. I only applied to UCs because I was like, I'm not supposed to speak. That's an honest to God truth. So when I first started network marketing and I would get in front of the room in front of 5 people, I would literally, my entire neck, I mean, I have people that were with me during those times that can vouch for me. I literally was covered in hives. I was so nervous for months and months and months. But now I can speak in front of 15,000 people, and I get a little nervous. I get a little nervous, but more excited because I don't think about what if I screw up. The very thing, by the way, that makes you the most nervous is looking like an idiot, right? But if you don't look like an idiot, you know what makes people look being nervous makes you look dumb. The people that are confident don't look dumb. Even if they screw up, they don't look dumb. It's the nervous people that I can't stand to watch. So the very thing that you're nervous about is what's causing you to want to be nervous. Does that make sense? Like, you're making yourself nervous, and that's what you should be nervous about, is looking nervous, by the way. Okay, next tip is eliminate 2 fears at a time. So psychologists have found that often fears are bundled together in your subconscious mind, and you know, for example, like they're wired on the same circuit, like rejection and ridicule, for example. Like if all of a sudden you go and you're 10 years old and you go, hey, you want to play tetherball with me? And someone's like, no, I don't want to play tetherball. That's a sissy game. Now you've been rejected and ridiculed. So in your mind, they're often wired. And so your friend says, no, I don't want to do network marketing. You're dumb enough to get suckered into that stupid pyramid scheme. Now you've been rejected and ridiculed. So facing your fears and eliminating 2 at a time will help you overcome them, and it'll also, you know, eliminate fears. So if you don't worry, if you're detached from the outcome, and you know that you might be rejected and ridiculed, and although I do have great module on inviting, so look down at, this is going to be on YouTube soon, and right there is my previous episodes. There is one that teaches you how to have a rejection-proof script. So please watch the one on inviting. I don't know what number it is. I should probably have a log of what it is. But anyway, the fear of rejection seems to be also bundled with like the fear of speaking, or the fear of ridicule is, you know, bundled with the fear of speaking. So, you know, what you can do is just put yourself in more situations that will bundle that fear. So put yourself on the phone more, put yourself in living rooms more, you know, and I have a gal that was so amazing. She made 90 grand her first year, which was my first year in network marketing. And she was afraid to speak in front of people, even her best friends, her mom or dad, it doesn't matter. So what we did is she wouldn't speak in front of rooms. So I did her meetings for months and months. And finally I'm saying, you have to do something. So what we did is we gave her like the toe in the water. So then we would have a meeting and we'd have everyone sit on the couches and she would sit on the couch opposite of them. So she'd be on the same level. And then we put her right in the same place on a stool that was a little bit higher. And then we put her in a stool in the front of the room. And that's as far as she ever got. Oh, no. One time, she stood with her hand on the stool. So you see, we got someone who had a fear of being, she was so fearful of standing in front of other people, she wouldn't even be, wouldn't come up in a hotel meeting where we're like, oh, in the new ranks, like she was a 6-figure rank. She wouldn't even come to the room. She would stand on, she'd be like, okay, hi, yeah, thank you. All right. She wouldn't even go on the stage to accept her recognition for being a rank. And she was making I think she was making like 90 grand a year. So anyway, fear is very real, but the only way you're going to get past them is if you develop the courage. So you've got to do the opposite. You got to visualize yourself having success in those. So do the opposite, meaning if you're fearful, do it. Visualize yourself as being unafraid. Confront your fears. Move toward them with action, and that's the antidote for all fears, action. Eliminate 2 fears at once, and just keep doing this over and over again. But I promise you, when I say the fears that I had were very real: fear of rejection, fear of ridicule, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of being, having too much responsibility, fear of success. Do you know that people have a fear of success? And here's why. Because the number one, and I could probably say this in every episode, the number one core desire of all human beings, and every decision you make boils down to one core human desire, and that is to feel loved. That's it. So when someone ridicules you, you don't feel loved, and that doesn't feel good because it goes against your core survival. If somebody rejects you, you might feel like they don't. Here's another thing. If your family is all poor, and I mean dirt poor, back country, can't put a sentence together, missing teeth, and all of a sudden you go and have success, then you fear that they might not love you. So people are actually afraid of success too. Fear of failure. If I fail, people won't like me. People won't love me. So just remember that this is very real for most people. And here's the bottom line is though, you won't ever please everybody. You're going to probably have some rejection. You're going to have some ridicule. You're going to have some failures. You're going to have some moments that are embarrassing. You are going to screw up. You are going to have people quit on you, mock you, hate you, block you, poke you for no reason. That all comes with the territory, because the good news is this is a people business. The bad news is this is a people business, and people are people. But I just want you to know that every single one of you, just know that courage and the self-discipline to have courage is going to get you further than you are now. And it doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you just keep on going. Let me see if there's any other good nuggets. Leaders have two types of courage. This is a good one. I'll leave with this. Leaders, the most common quality of a leader is they have vision. The second quality is they have courage. So the two types of courage that you need. Oh, this is good. I'll leave you with this, and then we're going to wrap up. Two types of courage you need as a leader. Oh, this is so good, so simple. First, you need the courage to launch, meaning you go and do it. Hair on fire, ignorance on fire. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. The courage to launch. And if you want a great video training on that, go see, I think it's number 4, the corridor principle. I think it's my favorite, one of my favorite ones I've ever done. And the courage to take action, to take that leap of faith. And again, that would, the whole episode on the corridor principle is what's going to teach you. You need to start, and you need to keep going. You need to launch, you need to take action, and you need to keep going. And I promise you, 10 years later, I look like I'm not scared. That's because you see someone 10 years of full-time, well, 9.5 years full-time in the industry, doing this all day, every day, 365 days. Well, I probably take 2 weeks off a year, maybe 2 weeks. So you're talking about, I've put myself in thousands and thousands and thousands of situations. That's why I don't look scared anymore. That's why I'm not scared. That's why yesterday I was playing with my hair. I picked my nose, like whatever. I'm still not scared, because you know what? What is to be scared of, right? So guys, thank you. Go face your fears. Acknowledge them, write them down. What are you truly afraid of? Is it going to kill you? Like the guy on the Hangover says, but did you die? Well, he got shot at a couple times, but did you die? I promise you, you're not going to die. And here's the thing, is if you face your fears, you're going to have more than you had yesterday. So go face the fear, and then I want you to, when you guys face a fear, whether it's now or in the future, I want you to go on Facebook and say, I faced a fear, and I want you to tag me, and I want you to tell me what that fear was, and then I want you to tell me how it felt and what the outcome was. So thank you guys. Again, don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com/create wealth with Tara, or just go to YouTube and put in Tara Wilson Lunch and Learn, and never miss an episode. And please share this free MLM training for everybody, and because I want to just help be one of the people that elevates this amazing industry that has changed my life and hopes to change more. So thanks guys, and I will probably not see you tomorrow, because thank God I have a hair appointment and it's from 11 to 1. If I can squeeze it in before I pick up my kids, I will. If not, have a blessed weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday.